if you're on the lookout for some new protein powder to try, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion and feedback on these that I just tried. So I was looking for some new protein powder. I'm coming from an Optimum Nutrition protein that's usually been my go-to, but I've heard about Dymatize before. One of my friends is always talking about them, and I was at the store, an actual in-person store that you go to sometimes, and I was looking at all the ingredients of the different protein powders. I noticed a lot of them had really long ingredient lists, and I was looking for just a shorter list because theoretically it's better for you, right? I mean, this isn't the most natural stuff on the planet, but I figured if I can get a shorter ingredient list, I would feel a little bit better about eating it. And I did notice that Dymatize did have a shorter ingredient list. And the other thing I was looking at is what they were using as a sweetener. And I couldn't find any that just used sugar. So if you guys know of any protein powders that use actual sugar, let me know in the description down below or the comments down below, because I'm really curious about that and why no one uses sugar. Is it just because people don't want the added calories from it, or what it is? I don't know. Either way, most of them had either stevia or sucralose. And I don't particularly like the flavor of each on their own. And I noticed that Dymatize had both. So I thought, man, what the heck, give that a try. Maybe it's going to have half the flavor of the stevia and half the flavor of the sucralose, and maybe I'll like that. So up first on the list was Gourmet Chocolate. Now, this was not my favorite chocolate protein powder. I believe Optimum Nutrition tasted a lot better. I will say this mixed pretty well. Did it mix better than Optimum Nutrition? Maybe a little bit better. Not a whole lot better. I don't think I'll buy this one again. I just didn't like the flavor of it as much. And you can tell by the weight of this, I haven't really dented this at all. It just isn't my go-to right now, just because I don't like it. If you don't like it, you're not going to eat it. So double chocolate didn't work out for me. Up next, we have the Dunkin' Cappuccino. Now, this was my first time trying any sort of coffee-flavored protein powder, and this does have 95 milligrams of caffeine in it, which to me was awesome because in the morning, maybe I don't want to make a coffee or espresso or have an energy drink, but I still need a little pick-me-up and I need some protein. And so this was my morning go-to, is I would drink this on those, especially on those days where I wasn't feeling like spending the time to make espresso, because that's part of my morning routine sometimes, is make a nice espresso. It's kind of relaxing, but sometimes you're in a rush and you just throw this in a cup with some almond milk and mix it up really quick. Flavor-wise, it was pretty darn good. It wasn't, my favorite. I didn't look forward to it, but I didn't expect it to taste as good as it did, and it did taste pretty good. And we tried it with mixing it with like a banana and ice, and really kind of making a morning smoothie out of it, which is where this really shines, because just milk mixed straight with milk or almond milk, it was doable. It just wasn't amazing. I'll definitely buy this again. You can see I've almost killed this container, so that's always a good sign when you actually make it through the container pretty quickly. And so we'll use that one again. Up next was Fruity Pebbles. So this was not on my radar to try, and the only reason I even got this flavor is because my friend, who's a bodybuilder, told me about it. And I asked him, I was like, hey, you always talk about Dymatize, what's your favorite flavor? He said Fruity Pebbles. And in my head, I'm like, that sounds disgusting. I don't want to mix that. Like Fruity Pebbles with fruity with milk. Ugh, milk and citrus don't go together. Milk and fruit, I don't know. It doesn't sound good. So my thought was maybe he's talking about you mix it with fruit juice or something, or even just water is probably how he drinks it, honestly. I'm not that hardcore. I need to mix mine with something of substance, usually an almond milk. So I got this home, and for whatever reason, I decided to try it with whole milk, straight up whole milk. I just grabbed some of my kids' milk and mixed it with the Fruity Pebbles, and it was a borderline orgasmic experience. This is amazing. This is the only one I've already killed. This is my second container, and you can see it's already down to here. This is my go-to, quite honestly. I look forward to this one. I will mix this. It mixes pretty well, and drink it in 0.2 seconds flat. It's so good. And I was not expecting it, so I'm kind of glad I tried it. If you guys haven't tried this, I highly recommend it. I'm not paid by this company at all. It'd be cool if they paid me, but nah, I'm not getting paid. What's your favorite protein powder? What do you like? Have you tried any of these? What should I try next? Hope you got some value out of this. If you would, just let me know. And YouTube thinks you're going to like this video next. Let me know what you think of their algorithm.